Maruf, my first question is to you. You're the expert on the subject. The first question will, of course, be now the corollary question to Pakistan. It's been done vis-a-vis Myanmar, but then if the same example is to be put, I think the minister was quite clear out there. He's a former army man. He knows what he's talking about. He says the message should also go to Pakistan. Will Pakistan get the message?
Well, no, Pakistan wouldn't have not just got the message, but my suspicion is, and mark my words, in the next day or two, you'll find a lot of threatening statements coming from Pakistan because they are guilty of having sponsored cross-border terror for about 25 years in J&K and other parts of India. But quite clearly, the situation, what was enacted in Myanmar, is a bit different from what is in Pakistan. Firstly, here we had the approval and cooperation of the government in Myanmar, which is not necessarily going to be the case in Pakistan because it's always been a state of denial. The second thing is Pakistan's terror groups that operate are proxies of their army. In the case of Myanmar, they are actually enemies of the state in Myanmar, but they operate out of the Kachin areas, which are largely loosely governed and therefore gives them a lot of freedom of movement to hit Indian targets and get back. Having said that, what India has exhibited, that it has the capability in its forces, and especially the special forces units that operate both in the northeast, and I've spoken to special forces people who operate in J&K, and they are just waiting for the green signal. If the political party and the leadership has the courage to give them the green signal, and believe me, they can go across from time to time and give a resounding knock to some of those terror camps that operate across the LOC. The pointed issue is, as Colonel Rathore brought out, that this has to be done as a point of our choosing and the element of surprise has to be retained. Equally important is that we have to give our troops, that special forces that operate, a reasonable chance of survival to come back, because the turnaround period for such operations is very limited. Therefore, they have to slink in undetected, hit the target and get back undetected. If you can ensure that, and most special forces operations are built on that premise, if you can ensure that, you have a success story waiting for yourself even across Pakistan. Though there will be many naysayers in India and many peaceniks who will try and say that Pakistan will then start doing the nuclear drum beating.
But the peaceniks are a minority now.
It's about time Pakistan's bluff needs to be called.
Atul Kumar Anjan of the left and Jaiveer Shergill, would you both like, starting with you, Atul Kumar Anjan, would you like to congratulate the Narendra Modi government for the tough action that it has taken with an immediate military retaliation of this nature, which no previous government has done? Would you like to congratulate the Narendra Modi government, Atul Kumar Anjan, for the prompt and clinical action that it has taken just 5 days after the dastardly attack on our soldiers?
Arnab, if I have to congratulate Narendra Modi government or Narendra Modi, then I should also criticize that such type of situation has been created where our military people are being subject of all sorts of action and reaction.
So be a nationalist on this subject.
Brutality. I just want to say, in a very limited situation, a situation has come where our military people were killed, and our military people and our strategists, they had specific information that across the border there are people, disgruntled elements, those who did this crime, this heinous crime. They have attacked the Indian military forces and they have killed our jawans.
So you should show more grace on the subject.
Specifically talk to the Myanmar government, and that is the first time Myanmar government also agreed.
At least today, out of respect for our soldiers, don't just politicize it. This is an opportunity, Mr. Atul Kumar Anjan. This is an opportunity for you to not politicize it. All political parties need to come together today. Our soldiers have been avenged. We should be proud of what our army and our government has done.
Arnab, it has happened on the Myanmar border. Why you are bringing the Pakistan or Bangladesh or Nepal into it? It is a specific area case.
Because the government has said it quite clearly that the message should also go to Pakistan. Okay, Jaiveer Shergill, would you like to congratulate?
I remember what Narendra Modi said before the elections.
So why aren't you proud of what the government has achieved today?
His head has been taken, hundreds of heads we will take it. What happened to that? After that, Narendra Modi took power in Jammu Kashmir area, more than our Jawans were killed. What happened? I don't want to make
I think the fact is The fact is, sir, that I sense
Arnab,
in your
that
tone,
Myanmar
I
area.
sense in your
Myanmar-
tone, I can
no,
tell you, Mr.
Myanmar is
Anjan.
Border. No,
Mr.
just,
Anjan,
I know.
Mr. Anjan.
Let me speak.
Mr. Anjan,
In
why don't
Myanmar
you simply
border,
come
there are
together as
NSCN
political parties
NSCN
sometimes?
people with whom we had a long struggle. There is a ceasefire with one section of NSCN. Despite that, there are certain disgruntled elements. Those who are not with the NSCN formula, they are trying to attack Indian Army. They are waging a war against the state. And this time, they targeted the
I really
military
think
people
today,
and
Maruf,
they got a befitting reply. They got a befitting reply.
I really think today, Maruf, that on this subject, at least the political parties could have come together. I really felt they could have.
Arnab,
Not
can I
just,
say something?
no. What's Javid, would you like to congratulate the government? Rise above political angles on this. Rise above politics all the time.
Of course.
Javid.
Yes, Arnab,
Which the
and
left
I
is
know
not,
the time is short.
unfortunately.
I want to make 2 points. Number one,
Yeah.
Congress party lauds the bravery and heroic success of our brave soldiers. Once again, they have stood up to the tradition of valor which they are known for and protecting in motherland. Secondly, as far as the government of India is concerned, yes, it is the government of India, but the BJP should not politically take credit by saying we showed the political will and the Congress party did not. It's not a BJP versus Congress issue. As a result of UPA's, listen, as a result of UPA's successful diplomacy, we entered into agreement with Myanmar in 2010 in the city of town of Champai with Mr. S. Singh as a joint secretary and UN Wing as a Myanmar official. That the government of India took it to. It will be very disgraceful for any BJP person to say political will lag. As a fact, let me remind them, in 2004, the incidents in Northeast were 1,224.
I'm going to move on to GVL Narasimha on this. I frankly must say this, Mr. Shergill. No,
third,
Mr. Shergill, let us please understand today. That today, you can't do everything is not about slamming the government or slamming the BJP or slamming Modi. Today, if the government and the army has
same goes for BJP, Arnab. They cannot say the previous government lacked political will and we have shown. And India was born on 26 May 2014. I'm sorry.
Then you need to rise above
Congress has played a major role in scaling down extreme incidents in Northeast. And that's well documented in a recorded fact.
I'll get Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao in it. I actually believe today that there's a great opportunity for all political parties to come together and say,
yes, Congress party lauds the bravery and heroic success of our brave soldiers.
Mr. Rao,
Today,
Mr. Rao.
The credit solely lies with our brave army.
Today is a day when we as Indians can hold our heads high. And today, the manner in which the army has avenged the killings of our brave soldiers, a message has gone out to the world that India today cares for its soldiers and India cares for its citizens, and you cannot mess up with them. And you see, Congress party should not be so small in its thinking that by praising the army's effort, by praising the government's initiative, because army does not function without the political will, without the political command, and therefore, I think the Congress party would not be losing electoral support by giving a word of praise once in a while. I think you show your small-mindedness by really
Mr. Rao,
to acknowledge
Mr. Rao,
on the global
you
stage
are
today,
very eager
India
to take
counts,
credit.
And today
where were you when the attack happened?
On the global stage, I think it doesn't really.
BJP should introspect why in 33 years such a grave incident of extreme violence took place at the very first place.
Yesterday.
I think
please show your gumption to first protect your own soldiers.
Today the world takes note of India, and when the government speaks, when the Prime Minister speaks, the whole world listens.
Mr. Shergill, a fact is that we have often criticized ourselves. We have criticized the Prime Minister, we've criticized the government on various issues. But let us say it openly today, Maruf.
No, Arnab.
This is not muscularity. People have used the wrong words, that India shows its muscle.
Concern for its people.
This is India standing up for its soldiers.
Yes.
And this decision of a surgical strike on the Myanmari side, Maruf, could not have happened. I believe could not have happened without the direct instructions of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. a decision so critical and so sensitive as this could not have happened, Maruf,
Arnab,
without the
this
direct
is- this is-
involvement
this
of the
is-
Prime Minister. Am I correct? It can't be taken at a Corps Commander or Army Chief level. Maruf.
It means he was
Maruf.
ready to accept that one.
Arnab, let me inform your August guests. Arnab, let me inform the August gathering of guests that you have that quite clearly this is an issue which must have had Prime Ministerial approval and that of the Cabinet Committee on Security. And I'll tell you why. Because the Prime Minister has put a lot of his political capital on building good neighborly relations with all our neighbors, Myanmar included. The second aspect is this can have international ramifications, but hot pursuit is an action which is legally available to all armies in the world should they have the guts to pursue it with political sagacity, which is what has been shown in this case. I think what is equally important is, and I must bring this out in front of this August gathering, that the morale of our armed forces was touching the very lowest in recent memory, because they felt that it was not worth dying for the country anymore if nobody was going to stand up for them and their sacrifices. Yes, I will be honest enough to say that there was a certain degree of complacency that led to the ambush in the first place, and inquiries are being initiated on that part in the army circles to look into what went wrong. But having said that, the point that was brought out by some of your guests, that why has this suddenly happened? This has suddenly happened because the peace talks have been going nowhere, and there is a revival of enthusiasm amongst a collection of groups that have been wanting to secede from India. The NSCN, the KYKL, and various other groups that operate in the northeast. I have
Okay,
some
1 second.
experience
I
with it,
think
having
1 second.
operated for myself 30 years
I
ago.
have to go to the breaking news story right now, which is happening in Delhi. But Maruf, once again, I think we congratulate the army, we congratulate the forces, and we congratulate the government for taking this tough decision.
And India is no longer a soft state. And that is the message that has gone out loud and clear to the world.
I think that message needed to go, and the message should go straight to Islamabad and straight to Rawalpindi. Let's
Please
go to the
adopt
breaking
the same policy in Jammu and Kashmir and stop
I think the message goes straight to Pakistan. Let's speak in one voice as Indians.
Yes,
Vis-a-vis Pakistan now.
I think Congress should not mess up domestic politics with our national
Absolutely.
security.
Let's